transition period with the UK, how long can it last? Why not anyone can say exactly it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, because there will be a period without British presentation. There will be no MEPs, there will be no British civil servants. However, our Great Britain would be obliged to obey to acquis communautaire. So what's the transition period is?
Well, that's exactly the point with regards to what you've just said about the acquis. We've got to quit the European Union in March 2019. I don't believe we need a transition period and any actual attempt to delay Britain's actually withdrawing from the customs union, from the single market. As far as I'm concerned, as far as the 52% who voted to leave the European Union in the referendum last year, it's very clear we've got to be gone. So this talk of transition period actually allows the European Union to delay the process further. I feel we would have a far more honest approach from both sides if both sides realise actually we are going in March 2019, and it might help them to actually focus to getting to that deal that much quicker.
Do you think that relating to each other under WTO rules, it's a fair deal? Do you think that would be sufficient, or it's necessary to have EU-Canada deal that was mentioned today?
Well, I'm very happy to go WTO rules. The elephant in the room here, and the interesting fact about if we go WTO, this is what nobody within the Parliament chamber is talking about, is the fact that if and when we do go WTO rules, and I think we will, because I don't think there will be a deal. I think what it will come down to the final vote in the plenary session, which will be just before everybody kicks into gear for the next European elections. They're all going to be in re-election mode, and I think they're going to be playing to their domestic audiences. So I'm not confident that the Parliament will vote for a final deal anyway. But the elephant in the room, as I said, is actually the fact that if we go WTO, the tariffs that are paid by the United Kingdom to EU member states, about 80% of those tariffs have to be paid by those member states to the European Commission. And people haven't picked up on that yet. So it's actually my contention, it's actually in the Commission's interest not to have a deal, because then they benefit from the 80-odd%. It's a very flexible figure there, but 80% of those tariffs will have to be paid by the member states to the Commission. Then you will see a very, very different approach to the member states. Will even more so start questioning, certainly some will start questioning what they're actually getting out of the European Union.
Now, what about so-called divorce deal and allowance? Because I haven't heard anyone pronouncing the final figures. So do you think it's fair to have an amount legally binding without consulting the electorate?
No, you can't. You don't. And obviously, I'm here to represent, the British taxpayer as well. And what I want to actually see is far more discussion about Britain's interests, Britain's assets within the European Union. We talk about not just sort of our very real interest in the Parliament buildings, the Commission buildings, all the freehold, all the property, but also all the investments with the European Investment Bank. Huge amount of money invested within, so it goes much further than actually the capital. I'm talking about our investments as well, and when you look at those figures, actually, it makes for very unpleasant reading for the Commission and the European institutions.
Fantastic.